Hello, my name is Grant Seebeck and I will be presenting a SWOT analysis on Fitbit and wellness health watches. For a quick introduction, Fitbit Fitness and Wellness Watch is an everyday use device that allows the user to track their health, sleep, and wellness by sensor. In this presentation, I will be presenting the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats that this product will adjust to or has already adjusted. This is a quick overview or chart of my SWOT analysis for Fitbit. Fitbit strengths. Fitbit has access to tons of data, GPS sleep tracking, calorie tracking, heart rate measurement, activity measurement, and many more. It also allows the user to compete against its friends through their numerous applications, and it also has multiple designs to choose from. Fitbit is also fairly reasonable in price, so it is very highly competitive in the price ranges of the wearables. It's an American venture, which means that the product was made in America and all of the manufacturers are in America. It is widely and easily available. So it is everyone across the world is able to have a Fitbit. It's very wide sold. And also, since Fitbit was a startup, the owners are able to connect with people more because it started as a small business, so they were able to make friends, whereas like if it was coming from Apple, they're already a big company where like obviously everyone knows about Apple and will use it, so they had to go out of their way, and they're really good with like customer service. And finally, Fitbit introduced smartwatches to the wearables health and fitness world. They were the first wearable idea wearable idea. Fitbit weaknesses. So the idea to track daily exercise is non-patentable, and that is very bad because it allowed companies to instantly start competing with Fitbit, which leads to lack of credibility. A lot of companies that started were more credible in fitness and health. The co-founders of Fitbit were actually just two guys that were startup companies, no background in health or fitness. They just were trying to find an idea to make a company, and that's what they did. And they did that by realizing that their health wasn't as good as it should be, and they thought that if you could have a device that allows you to track your health and fitness on a daily basis, that it would be helpful for your fitness and health. Another weakness is they were slow to evolve to a smart ecosystem, which means that the device is compatible with all your other devices, like your phone, your watch, your computer, your watch, your whatever that may be, your smart home. They struggled with that because they didn't have other devices. It was just a Fitbit, and it was just a watch or a wearable, and so it was very hard for them to intertwine their device with other companies' devices. The fifth weakness I put was cheaper competition. With that being said, there's multiple wearables, or there's multiple fitness and wellness watches, and the margin of price is very widespread, and Fitbit lands somewhere in the middle. And with that being said, the competition, some of the cheaper competition are more capable, or more have a better background on health and fitness, and so that is a huge weakness for Fitbit. And the sixth one I put is inaccurate metrics, which so Fitbit obviously uses a scanner that tracks your heart rate through pulse on your wrist, and a lot of the times when it's tracking heart rate, it can miscalculate your heart rate from 30 to 40 BPMs, beats per minute, which gives you an unrealistic goal when you're talking about losing calories and all of the other things in fitness. And so when you're working out, you don't want to think that you're burning, or your heart rate is up 180 when it's actually at 140, because you think that you're going to burn, for example, I do like 700 calories a day. If I were to accurately say that I was burning 700 calories a day at my workout, my body would show a lot more improvement and change in a smaller amount of time, whereas when a watch gives you inaccurate metrics, you believe that you're burning more calories than you actually are, and so it can be very discouraging. And I think that's a huge weakness in all of the wearables, wearable devices. Accuracy. Fitbit opportunities. Fitbit has made a merger with Google, which allowed them to, in recent years, become more compatible with Google devices. And that merger allowed Google to expand their capabilities, meaning they're getting into the smart ecosystem, and they're able to use Google's background on technical devices to add applications and use their engineers to make the watch better. Again, and that goes to my second point, innovation and synergies within its brand. So after the Google merger, again, they have different engineers, and now they're a part of Google, so they can connect with Google devices. Another opportunity is sports sensors are becoming more important in professional sports. So if Fitbit were to recognize that and start to push into sports before all the competitors do, they would have a big opportunity and growth and expansion on their capital and their users. And then my fifth goes along with my first and second, just strategic partnership with Google. And then the sixth is Fitbit has a very good corporate and health insurance incentives. Um, so what that means is when if a company uses Fitbit, a lot of the times the company will give, or like if the people in the company uses Fitbit, a lot of the times the company would give their employees incentives on keeping and maintaining health, which later turns into insurance benefits, because if you have better health, then you're going to have a better premium and you're going to have a better monthly payment. And so that's a major opportunity, and it can really help people across the world. And I think that everyone is willing to have good incentives, and so Fitbit is a super strong idea for like companies and health insurers. Fitbit threats. So Apple is a huge competitor. Obviously, their products are vastly spread across the whole entire world, and everyone knows about Apple. So it makes it hard for a smaller company like Fitbit. Well, although they're not small anymore, but it made it harder for them to compete and get to where they're at. Fitbit, another threat, the smaller competitors. With startups, a lot of companies are running off of Fitbit ideas, but they'll have a better background in what they're talking about. So like they'll be quicker to innovate than someone that doesn't know about fitness and health as much as someone that has a lucrative background in fitness. And so like tech will always change. Another weakness is athletic brands have more credibility. So Apple has partnered with Nike, which obviously gives them a stronger place in the market because more people go to Nike for sporting goods like shoes and shorts and shirts for athletics wear. And since the watch is a wearable, people are gonna tend to believe a credible company that is dealing or has been in sports for the entire existence of their company. And another threat is there's new ideas already being created, like health and fitness patches. These patches you put on your arm, and if you aren't the kind of flashy person, it can easily be hidden, and they tend to have more accurate metrics because they're attached to your body instead of a sensor, and so those metrics will be more accurate for the most part. And so if that goes the way it will, that's a huge threat for Fitbit unless they make changes and go towards the idea of patches. And then the sixth one, I put continuation under Google and privacy issues with Google merger. So since Google is a large company, they'll have the ability to just completely take over Fitbit, which means it becomes Google's product and not Fitbit. And with that being said, if Google were to take over and they have access, well, they currently have access to all of Fitbit's data. Google is having privacy issues, so that will make the Fitbit not a trustworthy company, and you don't want to share someone's data that doesn't want to be shared. And Google is having a huge issue with that currently, so I think that's a huge threat as well. And that's my last threat. In the conclusion, I have Fitbit must overcome many weaknesses, including a non-patentable idea, lack of credibility, a slow start in evolving with advancement, cheaper competition, and inaccurate metrics. The venture also faces threats like large competitors, small competitors, brands with more credibility, the continuation of change in technology, new devices, and issues with privacy and continuation under Google. With this being said, Fitbit also has overweighing positive qualities and reinforcements, exceeding expectations on strengths like innovation, customer service, price competition, accessibility, and tech advancements, and show great signs of growth classified under opportunities. Fitbit has made steps in advancing its technology, creating acute strategic partnerships, opportunities emerge in sports-related data analysis, and creating incentives for companies and health insurers. In conclusion, the Fitbit SWOT analysis has confirmed Fitbit's viability in the health and wellness wearables market. The end.